Hi, Real Closers. Good morning. Actually, good afternoon if you're in the East Coast. I'm here with Will Penny. The whole point of these lives is to provide as much value and also show you how you can take your business to the next level. If you are interested in growing your business, then this is one interview you don't want to miss. Will is going to take us through his process and how he grows his business every single day through referrals. So if you have comments, always drop them in the comments section. If you are watching this live, hashtag live. If you're watching this later on the replay, hashtag replay. The more comments you add to this interview, the more reach we're going to have within the group. So the more members can benefit from it as well. And of course, if you find value, any sort of value with what we covered today, hashtag value, it really helps us tailor, the content that we provide to you in this group. So with that said, how's it going, Will? We're live. People can see you. Why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us who you are, how long you've been in the business, how long you've been a group member in Real Closers.
I've been a member for, I don't know, it's been at least a year or two, I think. It's got to be over that because we've known each other longer than that. I met you in the group. So my name is Will Penny. I've been a realtor since 1988. When I was 19, 34 years ago. I had my own brokerage for 21 years. I have a small team of 4. We're located just south of Cleveland, Ohio, in Akron, which is about 30 minutes south of Cleveland. A pretty robust market. I think we had about 7,500 transactions in our county last year. So it's not cornfields like you imagine in Ohio where we are. It's more like Chicago or something like that, the setup anyway. Got a small team of 4. We statistically or generally sell about 200 homes or so a year with 4 people, 4 plus a transaction coordinator. About 80% of my business, our business, is past client referrals. We have just eliminated our last Zillow spend. So all of our business is either referrals or business from our Google reviews, and just staying in touch with people. And I'm really excited to show you the major tool that we're using right now, which is a private Facebook group with our sphere of influence and our clients. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys, and that way I'll be able to keep on track because I can talk for hours about this stuff, but I don't want people falling asleep. So give me 1 second here. So how to increase referrals with a private Facebook group. So I'm a very black and white guy. I have a very analytical mind, and I like to use tools that are efficient. So that's why I started using my group. But I already gave you an introduction. I had my own brokerage 21 years, and we sold 200 homes last year. We've sold as many as 250 homes. So, we average over 40 transactions per agent, which is pretty solid. So the first thing we need to talk about is the problem for realtors right now in 2022. Unlike when I started or even 10 years ago, where if you forgot about your past clients and you didn't stay in touch with them, the worst case scenario is that they will forget about you. But nowadays, there's so many more distractions. People are on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. They're tied into their phone 24/7. So there's so many distractions that make them forget about us, their realtor. Third-party referral companies. I'm talking about Effective Agent, Fast Expert, Ideal Agent, UpNest, HomeLight, OpCity, Dave Ramsey. The list goes on. These companies are spending millions of dollars a month to get in front of our past clients so that they can get a referral fee. That's pretty much it. And they're spending millions of dollars a month. They're backed by Wall Street. We can't compete with them. So that's one of the major changes in our business that I've seen over the last 5 years. And then finally, the marketing costs and tools to stay in touch are getting so expensive. And we're doing everything we possibly can to avoid the old belly-to-belly interaction with our clients and our sphere so that they don't forget about us. So here's a couple of statistics that are pretty shocking. The first one's really good. The second one isn't so good. 91%, according to the National Association of Realtors last year, 91% of home buyers and sellers said that they will definitely use us and refer us in the future. So we're doing an excellent job as an industry, as a profession, to give our clients a wonderful experience. And we talk about that all the time. In fact, a lot of the posts within this group are about how to provide a higher level of service and experience to our clients. But the statistic that should shock everybody is that only 13% of buyers and sellers actually use the same realtor again. So we all wonder why that is. Well, if we go back to where we just were, it's because of those distractions, right? But the bottom line is this: the reason that they're not using us again is because they forget about us. There's a lot of stimulation now. Again, with if we go back 2 slides, between social media and everything else that we're dealing with, it's very easy for them to forget about us. On top of that, while they're not thinking about us, there's these referral companies that are actively trying to poach our people from us. So it's not like the old days where they just forget. Like I said, we've got these companies that are actively. Ideal Agent, the rep that I talked to, said they're spending $1 million a month on television advertising, just on television advertising. So the reason they're forgetting about us is because they've got so many other options now. So what happens then? If your clients forget about you, what happens? Well, we have to work extra hard to find new clients, which is a rotten shame, because if you're providing excellent service to your client, then all you've got to do is stay in their heads and they're going to use you again, because statistically they said that they would. But if we don't do that, then we're leaving hundreds of thousands of dollars in the course of our career on the table. Then what happens is we depend on lead generation companies, and we end up paying a 25 to 35% referral fee, which is 25 to 35% of our income to them, because we didn't stay in touch with our people. And then we end up becoming transactional agents, because when you don't stay in touch with your sphere, the people that know, like, and trust you, and you don't have a plan in place to make sure that you stay top of mind with them and that they never forget about you, well, then you end up not getting them calling you, which means you become a transactional agent because you're just buying leads, okay? Which you need to do as well, but that should be just one leg of the stool. The strongest leg of your stool should be your referral-based business from your sphere and your past clients. I think we would all agree on that. So what can we do? Well, we can stay. This is very basic here. We've gone back to 2nd grade. We stay in touch with our database weekly or daily so they don't forget about us. That's one of the most basic things I can say. But how do you do it? We've only got a handful of choices. We've got email. Well, the problem is, if you've got a Gmail account and you're staying in touch with your people, free email accounts now are getting trapped on the other end. If you have a Gmail, or if your clients have a Gmail account, then there's a very high likelihood that your emails are going to get thrown into their promotions or their spam or their junk file. So they're not seeing your emails, especially if you're relying on just blasting out emails. You can call them, but you can't call them every day or every week. If you did that, they'd either block you or call the police, and you'd end up having a restraining order on yourself. So you can't call or text every day or every week. You could mail every week, but that's going to cost you, $1 a piece by the time you throw in a stamp. And you can have client events. We have a client event once a year. It costs about $4,000 to $5,000, but that's not enough either. So these are pretty much the tools that we have now. But I think we've established that in the old days, we could stay in touch with them monthly or quarterly. Now, if you do that, they're going to forget about you because of all the other distractions. So last year, actually, the end of 2020, I was struggling with all of this stuff. Like, what are we going to do to stop paying? I saw the trend going towards everything being lead gen based. Up to that point, our business was 70 to 80% referrals. But I saw how hard it was. I was experiencing this in my own business, staying in touch with people so that they think of me and they don't think of Ideal Agent, or they don't think of another agent who happens to post online, or they don't get referred to their wife's friend's son, Billy, who just got into the real estate business. What can I do to make sure that I stay top of mind at all times? Well, I did a lot of research and I found the private Facebook group. So, we're all on Facebook as realtors, right? I'm going to go through some stats with you on the next slide, but why a Facebook group versus a page? And the answer is algorithms. Roberto at the beginning of this said, make sure that you comment and like this so that the algorithm picks it up and shows it to more people in the group. Well, groups are very lenient. Facebook loves groups. And the reason that they love groups, we're going to get to it in a minute, is because it keeps people on the platform longer. So in 2018, there was a major overhaul with Facebook's algorithms. Personal Facebook page reach now is less than 10%. And the reason that means if you've got 1,000 friends, less than 100 of them are ever going to see one of your posts. And the reason for that, Facebook changed their algorithm in 2018 because they wanted it to be more about real relationships, right? When you're on Facebook and you're seeing every Facebook friend, all of your 1,300 or 400 or 5,000 Facebook friends, before 2018, we were seeing the vast majority of their posts, their food posts, bragging about their kids, showing off their new car, whatever it is, showing their vacations. And it was driving people off of Facebook. So what Mark Zuckerberg and his crew did, they tightened up the algorithm to make personal Facebook pages more like real life relationships, because they know that we accept friend requests from everyone, but they tightened up the algorithm so that you only see posts from people who they determine you to have a real relationship with, like real friends and family. So they wanted it to be more like real life. And then if you started engaging with someone you don't know as well, then over time, you're going to start seeing their posts as well. The second thing is business pages. In 2018, Facebook decided to monetize their business page. Now, you could boost posts before, but before 2018, if you had 1,000 Facebook fans or followers on your business page, your page posts would show up in their feed. Well, that doesn't happen anymore. So basically now the algorithm, only about 5% of your fans are going to see any one of your posts. So if you've got 1,000 Facebook fans, only about 50 are going to see any given post, okay? And you can prove that to yourself. And I'm going to show you my page in a minute. We've got about almost 1,900 fans. But if you go to your business page, you're going to see that you might be posting, this is the new year and the new you, and you're posting stuff on your business page. And if you scroll through it, you're going to see, you might see 1 like, 5 likes, no likes on content that you think is good. Well, it doesn't matter how good the content is if no one's seeing it. A business page is like a billboard that's facing away from the highway. And until you click the boost post button, then no one's going to see your post, or about 5% or less will. Facebook groups, on the other hand, have a reach of up to 100%. Let's use the Real Closers group as an example. Last week, when we were talking, Roberto and I decided that, we wanted to ask realtors if they wanted to learn more about how I use my Facebook group. I've got 959 members in there. Well, we had about close to 800 agents reach out, right? Well, if we would post that on a business page, practically no one would see it. But Facebook group reach has about 100%. And the reason why a Facebook group works so much better is because Facebook knows the statistics. Over 80% of adult Americans are on Facebook, what that should mean to you, if you're an analytical person like I am, you can use Facebook as a database CRM now, because almost everyone's on there. 36.9% of all humans on the planet are Facebook users. Almost 40% of humans on the planet are Facebook users. 1.7 million Facebook users are a member of a group, okay? Now, Facebook created groups because they wanted to get people that had common interests to start engaging with each other on their platform. And the reason they did that is because if you stay on the platform longer, if it's a traveling group, or if it's a English as a second language group, or if it's a Porsche Cayenne group, or whatever the group, or a real estate closer group, basically, Facebook knows that if you're a member of one of those groups, for example, Real Closers, if someone posts that group, unless you turn the notifications off, you're going to get that little red notification that said that someone posted in that group. And the reason that Facebook does that, and that they don't charge for groups, is because they've determined that the Facebook group, out of their 3 products, business pages, personal pages, and groups, that is the one product that they have that keeps members on the platform longer so they can show you more ads. Okay. So Facebook encourages groups. They allow the algorithm to show your posts to most of the people in the group, because they know that a common interest group, whether it be a real estate group or a cooking group or whatever, people are going to get back in that group and they're going to engage with them because it's a common interest. And what's happened is COVID has made that addiction even stronger, because people were working from home. They didn't have anybody to smack their wrist when they were using Facebook at work because they're working from home. So they've become much more addicted. People are using their phones more now. The FaceTime on your phone, meaning the screen time on your phone rather, has gone up by over an hour since COVID a day, right? Because people don't have the interruption. It's like smoking. You can't smoke at work. Well, when you work from home, you can smoke more. Well, you can also get on Facebook more or other social media platforms. So Facebook encourages groups because group members stay on the platform longer. So the aha moment for me after I did this research was that I could have my own group and use the tools and the weapons that Facebook give me to be able to engage with my members, which happen to be my past clients, every day. Okay. And that should be the bell that goes off with real estate agents. So what type of content do we post? We recommend contractors and service providers. We recommend fun things to do. We make them a community page, but with our past clients in our sphere. We offer home hacks and tips, designer trends and ideas. And I'm going to show you the group in a minute. And then we do fun questions and caption this post. And then finally, we have contests about every 2 weeks. All right. So we're basically using our group as a fun, violent-free place where people can come and engage with other people, other clients that we have. And it's fun. They stay on it. So the other cool thing about having your own Facebook group is social proof. When you invite one of your clients into the group, then what's going to happen is they're going to see that you've got other members in the group, which is going to verify to them that you're a strong professional. So there's many benefits to having the group. The goal of this content is to show them the real you, your personality, also to build loyalty and friendships. That's the whole goal. What post or type of content not to post? This is the stuff we traditionally post on Facebook. And I'm a realtor too, so I can bash us. Home sales, how busy you are, how many offers you had on a listing, how busy your day was yesterday, boring real estate stuff, market updates. That stuff should be kept to your business page, or you can put it on your personal page if you want, or on Instagram, or email it out. But it certainly shouldn't be in your group. Unless someone is thinking about moving soon, they just drown out real estate sales content. They call these things neuro-linguistic programmers. And the way that it was described to me, let's say you buy a white Jeep Cherokee. Well, suddenly you're going to start seeing all of the white Jeep Cherokees, but you don't see some of the other cars. And so you notice things that are important to you. When you're thinking about buying a house now, well, then you want to have that content out there, but that's only going to be for the low-hanging fruit or the people that have an immediate need. Our goal with the group is to nurture all the people between their real estate transactions so that they use you in the future and so that they refer you to their friends and family and workmates in the meantime. Most important tips for success in the group: consistency. We as humans aren't consistent by nature. The reason that Planet Fitness advertises at the Super Bowl and on the New Year's Eve events, and the reason that they charge $10 a month is because they know that people are going to sign up and then they're not going to use it again. The reason that they keep it at $10 a month is because they know that it's such a small amount that people won't stop paying it, because that would be admitting to themselves that they gave up. Well, most of us have trouble being consistent at anything we do. All right. So the consistency here is very important. Consistently post 4 to 5 days a week. The good news is Facebook groups have a calendar. You can schedule out content a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks at a time. Okay. In our group, we post Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. It's 4 days a week. I used to post 5 days a week, but once our group got over 500, it seemed, other members are now posting in the group. Right. So they're posting to the group, asking questions and posting things about themselves. Right. So I don't want to have it being a flood every day. So we post 4 days a week. We post between 1 and 3 p.m. during the day. Statistically, that's the most active time of the week. You can post whenever you want, and you can actually go into engagement on your Facebook group, and I'll show you that in a minute. It'll show you the most active times, but historically 1 to 3 p.m., wherever you are, is the best time to post. So I have my posts drop either 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock every day. The most important thing in all of this, and if you're not going to do it, then just bail out now, is stay in contact with the most active users and take 5 to 10 minutes a day to like the comments and to respond to the comments. The whole idea of having a group is to build trust and loyalty and friendships with your members. These are your past clients and your sphere of influence, people that you know. You're going to friend request them and invite them into the group, okay? So you have to engage with them. You can't just post the stuff and then not respond to their comments. 2 things happen when you respond to the comments. A, it encourages them to post more often. And B, like Roberto said at the beginning of this, The more comments you get and responses you get in a post, the more people within the group that are going to see your post. All right. But staying in contact with the most active users by sending them Facebook messages and taking 5 to 10 minutes a day, that's all it takes, is how you keep the group alive. Treat your group like a client event. So just have fun and engage with the group. Basically, if you had a client event, you wouldn't just stand in the corner and not go around and say hi to everybody. Well, that's how you have to treat your group. But it only takes 5 to 10 minutes a day. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you my group. And I could talk for hours about this stuff, because at the end of the day, all I care about is building as big a group of people who know, like, and trust us, so that you never think of anyone else, and they're not going to call a 1-800 number for Fast Expert or Effective Agent or Ideal Agent and then get referred to someone else. That's really the only thing that matters in all of this. And this tool enables you to do that at scale. Again, Roberto can post to 68,000 agents in the Real Closers group, and everyone gets to see it. What other tool can you use where you can do that? The answer is, I don't know of one. Do you, Roberto?
No, unless you're paying for a lot of marketing, you're not going to get that reach.
No, and you can post for free in your group, and generally the group members are going to want to see it, because that's why they signed up for the group. So here we have my business page. Okay, so there's a picture of my moving truck. I'm an active realtor. I mean, that's what I do for a living. So we come down here. I've got 1,877 people following our group. We posted a sold here yesterday. We had 5 likes. 114 people reached out of the 1,800, which is about 7% or so. This is where we post our sales. 3 likes here, 2 likes here. The bottom line is groups are dismal, because this blue button down here is what Facebook wants you to use. This is the product that they have.
And just to double check with you, this is not your group. This is your page, right? You're showing up your page.
This is my business page to show you why I got a group, because I was spending $700 a month boosting posts in my business page, and all we got was extra likes. And likes don't pay your house payment. Last time I checked, they don't. So anyway, what I'm going to do now, so this is my page. I'm going to come up here to press the group button. And now we're going to come over to my Penny Real Estate Friends and Family. So this is my group. It's a private Facebook group. Again, I got a picture of my moving truck. And
well, we do have a few questions. So whenever you feel like you want to answer,
let me know. You want me to answer them now?
Yeah, before you actually get onto what you're actually showing us, some of the results. Some people are asking suggestions from group names, and also how do you grow your group with new people?
I'm going to show that.
I guess let's take the first one. I'm going to show you
that. I've got 959 people in here. Okay. Now, the most important thing we need to keep in mind, every one of these people we know. These aren't like my business page where people just follow us. These are past clients. This is our database. We found them on Facebook. We friend requested them and then invited them into the group. Now, Facebook has a suggested friends list, right? You know, either on the mobile or on the desktop. Once you get on Facebook, it'll say suggested friends, and you can scroll through that. So what we did was, whenever we saw a past client, someone we've worked with before, a vendor, someone we do business with, hairstylist, whatever, baker, we find them on Facebook and we send them a friend request and then invite them into the group. Because look, the cool thing is I can link my business page. So I've got my business page and my personal page linked to my group. Okay. So when I'm on my personal page, I can click the invite button, invite Facebook friends. The only ones that are on here are realtors, because I don't have any realtors in my Facebook group. I've got a lot of Facebook friends who are realtors, but we've already invited everybody who's not a realtor into our group already. So, and then I invited all of my business, like the business page. If you click on that, these are people that are fans of our business page that we can invite. And I haven't invited all of them because I don't want all of them in there. But so you can link, the cool thing is you can link your business page to your group, and I'll show you how to do that. So what was the first question you just asked me, Roberto?
Suggestions and group names. So we can actually see your name right now.
Right here, Penny Group EXP Friends and Family. I had my own brokerage for 21 years. And in September, we ended up moving to EXP. So I changed the name. But anyway, you want to brand this, your name, your team name, your solo agent name. So if you're at Keller Williams, it'd be Penny Group or Will Penny, Keller Williams, Friends and Family. That's what I would do. Because the cool thing is not everyone's going to comment or respond to posts, but everyone will be notified unless they have turned off notifications. So it's like every time someone posts to the group, it's like sending a postcard, because when they open up their notifications, they're going to see that someone posted to the Penny Group, EXP, Friends and Family. It's like an eyeball on it, right? So it's constant exposure to your brand, even if they're not responding. So this post only dropped 44 minutes ago. How long have you been in your current home? I put 5 years for us. How long have you lived in your home? We've already got 7 people that have responded in 44 minutes, 32 people post reach. Here's one. Yesterday, how do you relax after a hard day's work? 152 post reach, 21. This was your post, I think, Roberto. I stole it. So I actually had a contest with your post. I had 75 comments, 720 something people in the group saw it. 700 out of the 900 saw this post, and we had 75 comments. It's insane. But then we had one here about greenhouses. We had somebody else post in here. So again, one thing you do every day, can't say brushing your teeth. 643 post reach, 55 comments. I have a lot of realtor friends say to me, well, that's not real estate related. That's the whole idea. You want to have content in your group, kind of like you'd have at a birthday party or a get together or a client event, stuff that isn't real estate related. Like this was a caption, this contest. We have other real estate related stuff in here. We had a client post last week asking how to clean his sink, and 16 people jumped in to help him out. This was a paint color one. This was only 207 people saw this. But the point is, we do this 4 days a week, but between the comments the posts that other people are making, we're having 5-6 days a week of traction. We grow the group every day. My team and I've got my team members in the group, all 4 of them, plus my closing coordinator, so 5 of them. They've all invited all their friends in. So it's a great team retention tool. They see this as a massive value because they can stay in touch with their people in our group. So, and everybody, we're just checking every day on Facebook. When we meet someone, we friend request them, invite them into the group. So that's pretty much how we've grown the group.
All right. So we got another question since you're on the topic of how to grow the group, because that was one question. So how do you grow the group with new people? Basically respond that you start inviting people over to the group. So you basically have to be active. It's not going to be no work at all, right? You do have to invite, you still have to reach out. And this is actually a good question to follow up. Do you boost your posts? Do you pay to get people into the group?
No, I don't, because I use this like Follow Up Boss or KV Core or, whatever your database is. I use my group as a CRM. I use Facebook to find people I know on Facebook, friend request them, invite them into the group. I don't look at this as social media anymore. I look at this as a 2022 tool for me to stay in touch with 959 people. We've only had this group for a year and 2 months, 959 people. And these are past clients, people we know, people that work at local businesses who we know, who are friends of ours on Facebook, and now we're in our group, and they hear from us 4 to 5 days a week so that they never forget about us. This is not a social media gimmick. This is like a database management tool. Just like successful agents are constantly adding people to their database. You run ads to add people into your database. Well, find the people you know who already know, like, and trust you. Back to that statistic about 91% of people want to use you again. It's up to you if they're going to remember you or not. So you friend request them on Facebook. Most of them are going to be on there. Not all of them, but again, that's why we use BombBomb to send out market updates. That's why we have Follow Up Boss to send out mass emails from time to time. That's why we call and text our past clients every quarter just to check in with them. This is a main engine of our business right here, this group, to generate referrals for us throughout the year.
And one thing you mentioned earlier too, and yeah, Dina said thank you for the answers. But one of the things that you mentioned earlier too is that, so not only are you targeting your past clients so that you can generate more referrals, but also you mentioned that when you get new leads into your business and you talk to them, you also invite them. And the main reason for that is social proof, right? Can you just describe that a bit more so people kind of get?
Yep. So let's say someone calls from Zillow and you start talking to them. And then in the course of the conversation, you think, it looks like things are going well. You say, by the way, are you on Facebook? Yeah. Do you mind? I'll send you a friend request. So now you've sent them a friend request, and then you immediately invite them into your group, and they'll probably accept. Well, now what happens is they get invited into the group. They see the pinned post at the top from me. I've got an introductory post saying what the group's about with a video, right? It says what the group's all about. They're going to see that there's 959 members, which is going to blow their mind. But even if you've got 100 people in there or 50 people in there, these are 50 people. They're 50 human beings. These aren't members or leads. These are human beings that have likes, wants, needs. They just want to be liked just like we do. So you invite them into the group. And what happens is these leads start nurturing themselves. So they think, well, I'm going to use Will, or I'm going to use Roberto. Because you can actually nurture a lead once you've spoken to them. Obviously, you're not going to send a friend request to someone you haven't talked to. But once you've spoken to them and had a substantive conversation, and you say, by the way, are you on Facebook? Yeah, I'll shoot you a friend request. And then once you've done that, you invite them into the group. And that's it. And they'll probably accept it. And then what happens is they'll see the rest of the people in the group. They'll start seeing your posts. They'll start seeing other people speaking very nicely about you because it's a fun, friendly group. And what it's going to do is it's going to condense the conversion process of the leads that you've spoken to, because they're going to start warming up to you way quicker, because they're going to start realizing what you're all about. You're a good person. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And there's another question. Is this a business page or a group page? So if you're watching this, Will basically talked about a business page, the reach that you can get on your page, but this specifically is an actual group just like the one you're in right now, Real Closers, right? And we were able to get this content out to you if you're watching by doing a few things, right? We posted earlier in the week. We asked questions about, people and trying to understand how to grow your referral business. We're actually asking you to comment in the group. So yes, this is a Facebook group that you can start creating. You mentioned that you don't need a lot of people, right? I mean, some agents may be a bit scared to start something like this, right? Oh man, I have to do a business page and my account, and now I have to build a group. Well, if you want results, we're showing you how to get them, right? Why don't you tell us a little bit about the actual results that you are getting from the group? I mean, because I'm sure a lot of agents are, okay, we have a group, we're growing it, we have friends and family. You're not posting almost any real estate related content, even though your group name is basically your name is basically a billboard to everybody who watches your content, right?
Right.
So what kind of results you're actually getting? I mean, tangible results, right? Closings, actual referrals, actual new clients. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So there's two types of marketing. There's going to be like nurturing stuff, like generating new business, okay, which is what Roberto does for a living, generating new business, or generating business from people who you already know. So it's nurturing. So if you think of the things that you do up to this point, dropping off American flags at July 4th, having client events, sending postcards, sending calendars, sending a newsletter, these are things that you do blindly on the hopes that people will remember you. Okay, this is the same thing, except the cost is free to have a group. You can access just as many people as you would with all those other things that I mentioned, and you can engage them on the platform they're already on. You don't have to convince people to come over to Facebook and see you. This isn't Clubhouse or Snapchat. 80 to 90% of adult Americans are on Facebook. So the group, it's almost like you're standing next to the highway and you're setting up a banquet hall that people stop in to see you. I mean, that's what this is. You've created a group of the people that already know you, and it gives you a platform to speak to those people. So to answer your question, we've seen, again, it's just logic. Before our Facebook group, we were calling and texting quarterly. We were mailing stuff. We were sending out newsletters. We had an email newsletter that I've since canceled because nobody reads it. I mean, it's $300 a month and nobody reads it. So we created this group, and now I get to stay in touch with people in a fun way that doesn't offend them, that doesn't cost money in terms of, printing stuff and mailing it to them or dropping things off. And I'm able to stay in touch with them. So because people are seeing us on a much more frequent basis, they think of us more. So when they run into somebody who's looking to buy a house or looking to sell a house, then they're going to refer us because almost every day they're hearing from us, right? So our referrals have gone up. But again, it's a long-term play like anything else. And when people question me, well, what are you getting from it? My question to you is, when you're spending $500 a month on a newsletter, what are you getting from that? $6,000 a year. Are you checking to see how many leads you get from a newsletter? How many leads you get from checking in with your people? How many leads you get from mailing a calendar once a year? How many leads you get from having a client event? No, you look at that as just a way to stay in touch and stay top of mind with your people. Now, you've got a tool that does all of that daily. You can still do the other things, but your referral business, logic says it's going to go up because it's staying in touch with people more often at a higher level so that they think to refer you. About once a month, we'll put a post in there saying, hey, shameless brag or shameless plug. If you know anybody looking to move, please let us know, that kind of stuff. But we don't even have to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as you grow more, as you get more people in there, you're going to have to do it less and less, or you're going to have to find different ways, right? Because there's a couple of questions about, to answer the question whether this is going to be recorded. Will, we started talking, I never pressed the record button, but once we end the live, it will actually be on Facebook, so you can watch the replay. And if you're watching on the replay, hashtag replay, again, it helps us push this content out to more people. You did submit your email last week and earlier this week, so we'll also send you a link to it if you're not watching it. I have a way to get the video out, so we'll put it out on YouTube and then also send it to you as well. So you're not missing, just because you didn't join us live from the beginning, you're not missing any. It's nice to have you here because then you get to ask us questions, right? And we get to answer those directly. So yeah, you'll get access to the content. There's a couple more questions. So again, have you gotten any business specifically from having the group? And you already answered that. It cut down your costs on marketing.
To nothing.
It gives you a platform to be in front of people, and you are getting referral business. So yes, you are getting business from this group, and a lot of other people, just like Will and just like you, can benefit from having a group because you get to be more present. There's another question. Are you going to share suggestions on what to post in the group?
That's a good question. So I actually, over the last year, because so many agents ask me for help on this, because you either see it or you don't see it. All right. A lot of agents don't see staying in touch with their past clients. They don't think having a plan to stay in touch with their past clients is going to matter. They think it's too uncomfortable. I spoke to a 26-year-old agent. I had lunch with him a couple months ago. I said, do you stay in touch with your past clients? I said, do you ever call them? He goes, ooh, that would be really awkward. And I'm like, do you know what's more awkward than staying in touch with your sphere? Missing a house payment. That's more awkward because you can't buy leads on realtor.com anymore. You've got to sign up for an OpCity account. Not everyone qualifies for that. Many markets, you can't buy leads on Zillow anymore. You've got to be in their Flex program. Not every agent qualifies for that. If you're not staying in touch with your people and you're not taking it seriously and you go, oh, I'll deal with it later, your career it's going to be harder and harder and harder for you to get business without paying for a lead. And the easiest business to get, the currency in most businesses, is relationships. The relationships is what makes a business have any value whatsoever. And as a realtor, last year we did $1.4 million in GCI with 5 people. And my marketing costs are very, very, very low because we reach out to people, calling them, that we text them. We do have a client event. We stay in touch with them, which is all free. And we have our private Facebook group. And, we sold almost $40 million worth of real estate last year. I'm spending $1,700 on Zillow and I'm canceling that. Right. So that's that. The content, what I did, because everyone was asking me for help, and I know that this is such a valuable tool, I actually started a small business. It's just a side thing called Social Orchard, SOCIAL orchard.com. And we actually have all our content on there. We give you the training on how to do this, how to set the group up. By the way, to set a group up, come up to this 9 dots here, come down to group, click on that, name the group. I'll put sample. Choose privacy, private, visible. Then you hit create. This is how easy it is. Now I've created a group. Now we come down to membership questions. You set up the questions. Mine are no bullying. You can't be a realtor. And we put all this in our training, but we want to make sure that it's just a fun, friendly place. Then we come down to group settings. Come over here, privacy, hide group, no. You can put your website in there. You can group color. You can change that, change the color. Who can join the group? Only profiles. Who can approve? You want to put admins and moderators, save. Who can post? Anyone. Approve all member posts, turn that on. You don't want any crazy stuff happening when you're not looking. Roberto knows how that goes, I'm sure. Approve edits. You put that and you turn that on. And that's pretty much it. Now you've got a group. Then all you do,
a couple minutes?
Yeah, I set up a whole group on a video. It took me 4 minutes and 37 seconds. To schedule posts, you just come up to home.
And I like one of that tool specifically that you can schedule posts as part of a group.
Right.
Because sometimes you have content and
hey, and then you come down here and then you can put a color background on it. Everyone knows how to do that. Then you come down to calendar. And I want to pick it to drop Saturday they make it so easy for you. The problem is the only difference between a really, really successful agent and one who struggles and gets out of the business is that successful agents are willing to do the uncomfortable things. They're consistent about staying in touch with their people. They're consistent about following up on leads. They're consistent about communication. They answer their phone. We all have the same license. You need to stay in touch with your people. I've been doing this 34 years. This is the easiest way. If you don't want to have to come up with content on your own, for under $100 a month, we send you all the content. Starting next month, we're actually going to post it for you too. So all you'll have to do is, and the content all comes from our group. So once you set the group up, by the way, you can connect let me go back down to it real quick. Group settings. I got a link. Where's my link business page?
So you're basically linking your page, right? So there's some sort of
here we go. Linked pages all the way to the bottom. Pages, yeah. So then I just come here and I can click link Penny Real Estate link. This is $100 million platform that these groups are more than that, right? So then you just come up here to home, and now to invite friends, you just come over here. I can click here. I can invite my friends or my business fans. You click that one. Now you're inviting business fans. Now you click that one. Now you're inviting friends. Now you just click the invite button. And now you invite friends. And then you just go through and you just start clicking the button and inviting them. And then you just go through these and it'll show you all of your friends and you invite them in. You put your photo up here by clicking edit. Once you've got the group up, the trick is consistency and responding to the comments and finding new people. If you're not willing to do that, then you're not going to be successful anyway because you probably don't have a database on a CRM, right? If you don't want to do this, then you probably aren't getting the people into one area, staying in touch with them. So this is like, you saw how quickly I set that group up. It's very easy, very quick. You just have to, it takes like no time. You can post content 10, 15 minutes a week. The trick is finding good content. I'm a freak about this. So all the content in my group, I know it works. I look for content constantly, and then we post the questions. And if you want that, then you can go to socialorchard.com and you can sign up. There's no contracts. 7-day free trial. This is the best tool I've ever used right here.
So basically what you're offering is content that they can post on their...
We give them the training. We send out weekly BombBomb videos with tips. I answer my phone when they want me to help them set it up. And we give them 20 posts a month. For teams, it's $149. And we just partnered with a company starting in March where they're going to be auto posting. So you won't even have to post the content anymore. It'll be in a calendar and start posting for you. But again, if you're not going to take the time every day to go in, look at the post and respond to the comments like Roberto was talking about, then don't do it. Right? But if you don't do it, then you better get Follow Up Boss or KV Core or Brivity or one of these or Top Producer, and you better start getting people in there and using the old traditional ways to stay in touch with people. Because if you're not doing that, I think Roberto would agree, and I've been doing this 34 years, it's only going to get worse, guys, going forward. It's going to be harder and harder to get people to call you instead of calling a referral company and then you paying a referral fee.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. It is. Things are tough right now. Newer agents getting into the business are realizing that, and that's why there is a lot of agents that start, at the beginning of the year, and by the end of the year, they are non-existent because they are not willing to face the fact that you do have to put in the work. I mean, it's not what you just showed us right now is not something to get things done for you. It's a tool that instead of putting your face out on a billboard and spend thousands and thousands of dollars, you could do it now for free, right? Because I mean, you still have to invest time. And I always tell people, right, you either pay or you invest time. But either way, you have to invest something. And definitely having a Facebook group saves you money, but you have to stay consistent. If you're not consistent with your posts, like you said, if you're not responding to comments, if you're not liking, if you're not interacting with your sphere, right? And it's the same thing with when you're live, right? If you're not calling the people in your soy, you're not interacting with them, they're going to forget about you. Same thing with the group. If you're going to use it as a tool, you have to get in there, comment, right? Comment, like.
Literally, I mean, when I got 758 comments on the posts that we put in there last week, 758 realtors. I responded to every one of the 758 people. Why? I didn't know them because they took the time in their day to say, hey, I appreciate what you're doing. I'd like to be involved. So I felt like it was worth it to me to hit the heart button, which takes a millisecond, and type thank you. How hard is that to do? I mean, compare that to the other things we have to do, calling FSBOs, calling expireds, door knocking. But I still think that in this market, and this is another topic, we don't have a low inventory market. 8% more homes sold in the United States last year. 8% more homes sold. That means there were 8% more listings. The problem is just like the toilet paper shortage. It wasn't that Charmin made less toilet paper. It was that people went in and swarmed it and grabbed them all. So it made it look like Charmin made less toilet paper. Well, there's not fewer homes being listed. There's just an abundance of buyers that are absorbing them. They're like waiting at the turnstile. So as soon as one hits, it's gone, right? So logic would say, if you use two tools, run ads so that you can get people first, prospect, like circle prospecting by using a company like RedX, where you can call around listings that you sell, and staying in touch with your database, your sphere of influence, by calling and texting and having a Facebook group. If you get those three things dialed in, you never have to worry about anything again, money-wise. Because I'm here to tell you, I didn't graduate from college and I've made, almost $1 million selling houses in Northeast Ohio. It's not that hard. You just have to put the time in, be consistent, and follow what other people have done before you. That's it. Absolutely.
Absolutely. So, Will, I really appreciate you took the time to be here with us, share with us what you're actually working on, and share with us something that actually works, right? Something that if you put in the work will give you results. So how much does it cost to post my own and just get the training? I think at this point, if anybody has questions, I think maybe best to reach out to Will. Will, how can they get in touch with you if they want to talk to you?
They can send me a message on Facebook, Will Penny. They can email me at Will Penny. It's Penney, WILLPENNEY 2982 @gmail. That's easy. Or you can go to socialorchard.com and get a free trial. No gimmicks either. I mean, I've got 60 agents who I help now, and they don't cancel. The ones that cancel are the ones that cancel their gym membership. You know what I mean?
The ones who are not willing to put in the work. Yep. Yeah. And again, just to kind of bring it up again, it's not something that where you just turn it on and you start getting referrals, right? It's something that you have to work. That tool is only going to do maybe 50% of the work. You have to put in the other 50 if you want it to make it work. So I guess to answer that question, I mean, how much does it cost to post my own training and my own content and just get the training? I guess as far as training goes, I mean, all it is
I just set a group up. I just set a group up for you.
Basically, if you want to post your own content, no payment. It's free.
Yeah, it's free. Post your own content. But here's the thing, okay? And this isn't, I don't care whether you use me or not. At the end of the day, I do fine selling houses. I only did this just because I saw, obviously there's a benefit to me, but I did it because I saw a need, but because most agents aren't going to stick. Once you get busy in the spring, that's why I partnered with another company to post automatically. It's costing me money to do that. I'm absorbing the cost because some agents aren't even willing to take the 15 minutes on a Sunday to post the content for the month. I mean, that blew my mind when I realized that they weren't willing to. I hadn't worked with agents on that level before, right? Most of my relationships are with agents where we're having a deal, and I have wonderful relationships with realtors. But when it comes down to how they run their business, I was very surprised to see that they don't even take the time to post the content. And when they do, because they invite me into the group and I'll monitor it for them, when they do, I have to text them and say, dude, you're not even responding to the comments. Get in there and respond to the comments. They're like, oh, I've been busy. It's like, I've been married 29 years. I got 2 kids. One's in college. I've got a team of 4. I've got Social Orchard. I've got my business. I sold 70 houses myself last year out of the 200. I managed 2 Facebook groups. It all depends on where your needs are. If your business is going great and you don't need any help, then fine. But you better figure out a way to stay in touch with your people or they will not be coming back to you. Statistically, only 13% of them will, unless you figure out a way to stay in their heads. And if you think of a way that's easier than a Facebook group where you can actually do it more than daily, please let me know because I'd like to know. And I don't know of a tool like that other than Facebook group.
No, Facebook group is absolutely a beast, being able to be present.
Yeah.
So again, Will, thank you so much for sharing value. If you still have questions and we haven't answered them, post them in the comments. You can always send us a private message, either myself or Will. If you do need help creating a group, right? We can do another live and just kind of walk you maybe a little bit more slowly as to how to set it up and how to get stuff in there, maybe show you a little bit of the content and, a couple of things like that. But yeah, I mean, basically Will's Social Orchard is not so much a training tool. It's more of a, hey, here's the content for you, but you do have to stay active. You have to do your part.
Starting next month, we're going to it'll be posted automatically. So once they sign up and they join and they link their group to the account, it'll post automatically for them. So the only thing they'll have to do is check it daily and respond to the comments. I mean, that's all they'll have to do. I mean,
and then find people to funnel into
and put people in the group. I actually have a video. If anyone wants to set up a group, first of all, I'll answer all the questions in this post if there are more later. And if anyone wants to set up a group, I have a video. I have a Dropbox link to under 5-minute video that goes through all of the settings, all of the stuff I showed you on this, so that you can look at it and watch it over and over again. I'll send you the link in a Facebook message if you send me a message, or send me an email, or put your email in below, and we'll add that email to our list, and then we'll send you that link.
Again, Will, thank you so much for being here. This is probably the longest live I've done in the last few weeks, but
oh God, I'm sorry. I know I talk a lot.
No. You dropped a lot of content. I really hope that, agents can consume this content and start putting it to work and really come back to Real Closers and let us know how building your own group is working for you.
I want everyone to make a six-figure income selling houses. It's not that hard. We all know people who love us. You just have to make them remember you. It's know, like, trust, and remember. Remember is the biggest one. And that's where the work is. It's not hard to get them to know, like, and trust you. You got to spend the time to get them to remember you, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for dropping so much content, so much
you're
value.
welcome. I love helping agents.
And then we'll be probably here again shortly. So have a good one, Will. Thank you so much.
All right, take it easy.